Hi folks, I'm Jeff Mack. I'm the author and illustrator of lots of books for kids like The Things I Can Do and Hush Little Polar Bear, and I'm here to introduce my brand new picture book coming out this fall from Neil Porter Books and Holiday House. It's called Just a Story. This is a story about this kid who loves to read. He loves to read so much that he doesn't even notice some of the very interesting things that are going on around him in the story. And this story takes place in a library. So I've loved the library ever since I was a little kid. When I was about 4 or 5, my grandmother used to take me to the library every week, and we would come home with these stacks of picture books. The first picture book I ever learned to read on my own was Fox and Socks. But my favorite picture book was On Beyond Zebra. It was filled with monsters whose names began with all of these weird imaginary letters that Dr. Seuss had invented himself. And I loved monsters, and I loved anything weird or scary. So flash forward about 40 years to this day when I'm riding the New York subway, and there's this teenager who's sitting next to me reading a graphic novel. Okay? And he is so into this book that he doesn't even notice anything that's going on around him. And the train comes to a stop, the doors open, and suddenly this kid realizes, this is my stop. So he snaps the book closed, and he dashes for the closing door, but too late. He's missed it. So what does he do? He sits back down and he starts to read again. And I'm thinking, there's an idea for a good story here. So what if in this story, this kid is reading a book and he's so into his book that he doesn't notice any of the very strange things that are happening around him? And what if these strange things are actually the things that he's reading about in the book? They could be really weird things. They could be scary things. These things could build up. There could be more and more suspense, and you're like, what is going to actually happen to this kid? Until finally, well, I'll let you find out what happens yourself. Since the whole thing takes place in a library, what could really go wrong, right? I mean, after all, it's just a story. So, originally, I didn't know where I was going to have this story take place. I thought maybe I might have it take place on the subway, and then I showed my sketches to my editor, and he was like, well, why not have it take place in the library? And I was like, of course, that's perfect. This could be my love letter to all of the libraries and all the different types of adventure stories that live there. And that's the story of Just a Story. It's a story that never would have happened if it wasn't for all of those trips I took to the library with my grandmother when I was a kid, and all the trips that I still take to the library today. So these days, my librarian, she makes care packages out of my books. Once a week, she puts all my books into a paper bag, she wraps them up and writes my name on top and puts them outside the library for me to safely pick up. Talk about love, right? So thank you to my librarian. Thank you to all the amazing librarians out there who are helping us to stay safe and keeping us using our imaginations. Our world needs more readers, more thinkers, more adventurers. And so we are very lucky to have you. And I'm lucky to be able to share Just a Story with you and with all of your amazing readers. Thank you.